Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bandai Hangout, where we hang out and we have fun. Justin is already here. He's already getting in my business. So we'll just kick it to you. Justin, how are you doing today?
I am fabulous, David. Thank you.
And AJ, how are you today?
Have you seen this room?
It's pretty good. So this
Colorful.
This is our first stream from our studio. It's not complete, but it's complete enough for us to kind of show you. We got the new sign. We got some colorful geometric shapes. We got 3 crazy characters talking to you about Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney Plus. And I cannot
Hello
be
there.
more excited. Hello there.
Oh man, I flipped on that moment. I was like, I'm not going to get an episode right here. That towards the end. Oh, thank goodness.
Yes, they had to do it. You know, they had to service all the memes, and they did a good job of that.
I did.
I think so.
He was using his
Oh
blaster.
yeah, Mike's Monsters. Hello there.
Hey, Mike's Monster already here. Good morning, or I guess it's afternoon now. 12:01. So good afternoon, Mike. How are you doing today?
He's fabulous.
I'll wait. There's a delay.
Yeah.
But hey, so if you're in the chat, and you saw Obi-Wan Kenobi, we would love to hear your thoughts. If you have any questions you want to hear 3 professional nerds talk about, we have several hundred years of Star Wars knowledge in this room right now. So we're happy to discuss, or even if you're like, hey, remember that one part? That was awesome. We'd love to talk about that. There will be spoilers, of course. The last episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi aired on Wednesday. So hopefully everyone has seen it. If you haven't watched it, come watch the replay later on and share your comments with us at that point. So I guess we'll just move right into it. Justin, thoughts on Obi-Wan Kenobi? What's your overall thoughts on the actual series?
I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself. I look forward to it each and every week. And I'm glad it's over, though.
Oh.
I didn't want to see it drawn out. It was only 6 episodes. They didn't have that much time to waste, so it worked out.
Awesome.
Yeah, honestly, the 6 episode span was, I think, just right. I mean, there could have been more, but I don't know if I would have watched long enough. I think, like we said, 6 was just right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the limited series. I would be totally fine if there wasn't a season 2 and this was just, a fun little story that they told. Sounds like they might do a season 2. They'll probably do a season 2.
They're into it.
They're into it. Yeah, Ewan and Hayden seem to want to do it. If they did do a season 2, I know we'll talk about our predictions for season 2 later. I think that the Obi-Wan Vader story is kind of paused for me right now. Like, I think that they reached a really good place. Anakin was able to come out for a second, kind of not forgive Obi-Wan, but let him know it's not his fault. And then I think their next meeting should be in the Death Star. If they had a second season, Justin, I know we're jumping ahead, would you want to see more Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi?
I mean, that fight scene was pretty cool that we got in episode 6. I mean, even whatever it was it episode 3 when he was kind of taunting him on the planet there? That was pretty intense too.
The Jason scene?
Yeah, total Jason Voorhees, right? Just teleporting and being everywhere he was in front of him. It doesn't show him, but off camera, Vader's like crawling through tunnels really fast to get to him. But my goodness, that final fight scene in episode 6 was pretty rad, man. And so it was nice to see them fight again, I guess, compared to like episode 4 where they're just like a bunch of old people and just wickety wacking with their sticks. So it was definitely fun. But I don't know. I think it was a nice little like middle chapter to a fun bookend that is episode 3 and episode 4.
To me, it's like Pokemon, like they're really fast in like episode 3 when they're attacking and when they're fighting. And then this one, it looks like moderately okay. Like there were some still good fight scenes, but then by the time you get to episode 4, it's a little bit slower pace. Age caught up to them. That's the final evolution. So I do like that. So I don't know if I would want like another fight between the two per se.
Yeah. It's like when in fighters, like when boxing, when they have like 3 different mega bouts, like usually one person wins one, then the other person wins the other, then they got to have a third one. Right now, Obi-Wan's up 2-3, so it should be over.
But it's the last fight that counts.
Right? No, I know, and I totally get that. That's just why it's fine the way it is with their 3 encounters.
Right. Mike says the same thing. He's like, no more Vader and Obi-Wan. I think they left it at a good spot.
I agree.
Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, I think that fight, like you said, in episode 6 was incredible. My only problem was I saw someone cut it together with like the Battle of the Heroes music from episode 3, and it was just so much better. Like,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
like I think from the music perspective, I know the Mandalorian does it, but they're kind of off in their own little world. I think that for the Obi-Wan show, I would have preferred if they used more of the old music. I know that a lot of TV shows want to kind of chart their own path, and I totally respect that from an artistic standpoint. We got a couple little nods to like the Leia's theme and Obi-Wan's theme and stuff like that. I just think that there was a lot of history, and I would have loved to have seen, some Battle of the Heroes for their fight, or some Imperial March when Vader is on screen, things like that. But that final fight was like, it looked like just like a lithograph's like dream. Like every shot was like this like amazing little, like I could see people putting it on their wall. Like there's the scene where Vader gets out and Obi-Wan and Vader are they're at the opposite ends of the screen, and you have the little like crescent moon up there, and they got kind of like a green sky. I'm like, oh, that's my background for my computer.
Right. And like when Obi-Wan was throwing all the different boulders at him and everything.
Oh, he
that
learned
was,
rock throw.
Yeah.
That was like my favorite. I was like, look at that. Obi-Wan learned a new attack.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. And Vader's just getting hit. He's like, oh, my cape's getting dirty. I don't like this.
I gotta get it washed.
Yeah,
Those are
Vader's-
expensive,
That was the weakness. That's why, like I think in episode 4, like Obi throws like Luke, like he throws him items, like he must have learned it on that fight.
Yeah.
If I just throw things at them.
Projectiles.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, and then we get the moment where Obi-Wan strikes at Vader, and if you're a fan of the Rebels TV show, Ahsoka kind of did something similar
Mhm.
to where you can see, Anakin underneath the mask, and they have this dialogue. And I'd like to, I'm sure it's intentional just because of the way they did it. So when Anakin's kind of peeking out, his eyes, this like Sith yellow eyes, go away for a little bit, and his face is bathed in like the blue from Obi-Wan's lightsaber. And then when he says, Anakin's dead, I killed him, basically.
Yeah, you
all
didn't
of a
kill
sudden
Anakin.
it goes,
I did or whatever.
Yeah, now he's bathed in like Vader's red lightsaber. He's got his yellow eyes back, his angry eyes, if you
Yeah.
will.
Don't forget to pack your angry eyes.
And I think that just was a great scene between the two of them, where Obi-Wan can finally kind of let go that like he did everything he could do for Anakin, and this was just always going to happen type thing.
That's
Oh, yeah,
sad.
see, Obi-Wan is an Earthbender. I don't know if you've ever seen the cartoon for Avatar: The Last Airbender. There's like a final fight between that and the Fire Nation King. It's almost the exact same fight. Rocks are being thrown, spires, and I'm like,
True.
this is literally the same fight, except with lightsabers.
I saw the live action movie, and about 10 minutes into it,
You turned it off to.
I made a very bad choice.
Hopefully, it was something you got like on HBO.
No, it
or-
was in the movie theater.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
you
Yeah.
I
made an error in
rented
your
it,
life.
Justin. so.
The Darkness has a fantastic point. Although we know Vader can't die in the series, it doesn't make sense for Obi-Wan just to walk away after defeating Vader again. Episode 3, he leaves Vader to die, or he leaves Anakin to die.
Mhm.
Knowing what he knows, that Anakin became Darth Vader and all of the atrocities and the terror and the misery that he created. Do you think it is within Obi-Wan's character, and should Obi-Wan have just finished Vader while he was in his weakened state?
I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem like it's something that he could do.
I felt like it's like a Jedi code. for him.
Yeah,
It's
I
like-
mean something like that,
Yeah.
like to where he's defeated, like it's over between us, kind of thing. Because he's not. The rebellion obviously doesn't exist at this point, so it's just like there is no more us. It's this. I'm finished with the checking of the bags
this
conversation.
breakup is over.
Yeah. So to me, it kind of made sense. I totally see your point, but for me, it was more of our relationship is now officially over.
Right. And
Don't call, don't write, don't call.
Yeah,
Lock it.
I thought about this long and hard, because that's obviously one of the questions that most people have on the show. And you think like, oh, if he killed Vader, maybe he saves Alderaan. But like, really, that's the Emperor and Tarkin and other people's bidding. Vader's just like the blunt instrument. He's not the one that ordered the destruction of Alderaan. He's not the one making the big decisions. So yes, you would have taken the Emperor's chief officer, but who's to say that he just couldn't have given the Inquisitors more power and stuff like that? So
Yeah, let's talk about those Inquisitors.
let's.
What do they do?
They hunt down Jedi. They hunt down Force sensitive kids, and they kill kids.
When are they no longer a thing?
Because
Because by episode 4, we don't know what they are anymore.
so they continue on. They're just not focal points.
Okay.
But yeah.
So
they're
do they
based-
exist in the world of Star Wars that we would have known in like episode 4, 5, and 6, or are they?
So by the time we get to
defeated
like
by then?
episode 4, the Empire has bigger fish to fry.
Okay.
Like they pretty much wiped out all of the Jedi, or a vast majority of the Jedi. So their focus is no longer like the Jedi purge and to eliminate the Jedi. Their focus is now to snuff out and destroy the rebellion.
Okay.
And what I thought interesting was that, I know we're kind of jumping all around the episode, is that Reba couldn't kill Kid Luke because she saw like herself in Kid Luke. But I mean, as an Inquisitor, she's probably killed like hundreds of kids.
Oh, for sure. She could have been easily ruined the canon timeline just with that one slash.
Or if he would have fell and hit his head wrong, for crying out loud.
Oh,
That happens. Head injuries are serious.
But I mean, speaking of the Vader open-ended question, I mean, Obi-Wan basically lets this person live who he knows can do terrible, evil things, and knows the importance of this kid is important and where he lives, his home address, if you will.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think Vader
she got
was
to
ever...
that planet really fast, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like she got from episode 5 to 6, she traveled to that planet. I think way before even Obi got there, like Kenobi did. And I'm like, how'd she get there? Like,
yeah, I don't think their galaxy is all that big because
with her little.
She got one of these little techniques going on.
They end up in Tatooine quite often, so it must be like on the way everywhere they're going.
Which is ironic because you ever look at like the map of the galaxy, there's nothing more out of the way than Tatooine.
Right.
But everyone's always there.
Always there, except for Vader. I don't think he ever wants to go back.
No.
So I think that's why he's safe. Luke would ultimately be safe there because Vader's like, I'm not getting in that sand.
Yeah, I think he's safe from Vader, but now we have
Reva.
we have her, and all it takes is her to have a bad day. Like, you had a
Yeah.
bad day.
She's
trying to kill Luke.
She's
Piss
damaged,
off
dude.
Obi-Wan.
She's gotten problems, but we'll see what happens. Because now she's getting her own show, right?
Yes.
That's what that's gonna play out.
You guys just told me that like earlier, and I did not know about that.
Is she gonna change her lightsaber color? Is it okay to have a red lightsaber? Or are you automatically bad when you have a red lightsaber?
I don't think so. Mace Windu had his purple one, and then Adigadia, she had, it wasn't exactly red, but it was like a real dark purple, so it almost looked red. But I don't think we have other ones who had a red
Did
lightsaber.
Dooku always have a red lightsaber?
No.
It's possible that he had a different color. Was it blue or was
I
it?
go to the thrift shop.
I
just
believe
then pick up a
Dooku's was
couple.
green, because that's Qui-Gon chose his green to reflect his master.
Oh.
And Obi-Wan's like, nah, I'm gonna go blue.
And then you just got to go to the bad guy shop to buy your red crystal.
Yeah, I mean,
How does that work?
they're trying to make this whole thing happen in some of the expanding universe, that like the Kyber crystal has like some form of sentience and like feels the corruption in your heart and turns red. I don't know if I really care for
It's
that.
not just a red lens type thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it always had been before.
Oh.
It always had been like, they got special Kyber crystals.
You can go to your space Walmart and pick some up.
Oh, there you go, right
Different
there.
colors.
Inquisitors still exist after episode 7. Second sister is in Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I beat that game. I didn't even realize that that's what I was fighting though. I kind of just I was playing that game and it was really hard at first and it was kind of discouraging because you don't have all these powers. But then once you sort of blossom into this Jedihood that you are destined to be, you get a lot stronger and it's a lot more fun. But at first, it's a bit of a struggle bus. I'm not gonna lie. But
Justin's number one fan carrying his number 2 fan.
Oh, yeah, how exciting!
Cute.
But yeah, like I said, the Inquisitors they weren't the focal point because now we have the rebellion. We have to snuff out the rebellion. They're much bigger because there, in theory, aren't that many Jedi out there.
Gotcha.
I mean, clearly there's Luke and Leia.
They need to have a census and get to the bottom of this. How many Jedi still exist?
Make it. This is totally anonymous. We don't know who filled this out. Trust me.
Yeah.
Not used for anything nefarious. Let's see. Didn't love Reva's plot. Actor was great, but script wasn't strong enough for me to care for her story. Inquisitors felt like an afterthought to the plot.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that they had like 2 shows in mind. They had an Obi-Wan show and an Inquisitor show, and it was very un-Disney-like to not make 2 separate shows and then maybe have them converge at the end. But it seemed like they were telling 2 very different stories.
Yeah, because I think like even at the final fight on episode 6 between Obi-Wan and Vader, they cut into Reva's. I'm like, as much as I want to see how they're gonna fight a lightsaber wielding person, I don't know.
Like Uncle Owen.
Yeah, Uncle Owen.
Yeah.
Like that itself should have been their own little miniseries. Back in their younger days, just driving it out in Tatooine with their rifles and guns.
Yeah.
I was like, how are they gonna survive this?
They did pretty good.
They
for
did.
A while.
They were throwing things too. I think the key to surviving out there is just throwing things.
Yeah, they need some booby traps.
Samoan's a terrible shot. He's sitting there aiming at her for
And
like a
he
whole minute,
missed.
and then he misses the first 2 shots.
I know.
Gives her time to get a lightsaber. But once they started going for the midsection, like Rocky and stuff like that, where her wound was,
I did like that he saw that immediately and was like, take that. And I was like,
He's like,
I was like, that hurt me watching it.
It's like I was in this movie where I was a fighter. I know things. So I think would you have been more interested, Justin, if the Inquisitors had their own show and they were more of a subplot in this one, and like Reva, like we more see like Reva still does what she does, kidnaps Leia and stuff like that, but the Inquisitor whole side of it is just like their own little TV show somewhere else.
Maybe. I'm not really into the whole Inquisitor thing though. I don't really care for them for some reason.
Would you care more if they were to set the Inquisitor show shortly after Episode 3, where there's a lot of Jedi?
Yeah, and then but I mean, it's hard to root for a bunch of bad guys on your show. So I mean, maybe if it was following these other people and then they're getting like systematically taken out or something like that, and it'd be like an episode of Lost, and you don't know who's going to make it, kind of thing. That might be a little bit more interesting. But I don't think it's a good idea to have these bad guys be the main characters of the show.
I agree. Like Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
like
not really
that.
a bad guy, but he's not interesting.
But I
enough
mean,
as
yeah,
a-
all of them just all they did was complain and yell at each other, and like Reva's dialogue was just yelling the entire show.
Right. Third sister.
Yeah, it's like, dude, just calm down a second. And then like when episode 5, when they were charging like the barricade, she's in the middle of all those stormtroopers. Whereas what we talked about earlier, like Darth Vader, when he got on Hoth, he's just like front and center, like, I'm Darth Vader. I'm going to
I dare you to shoot at me.
yeah, let's do this. You know, he's leading the charge. Where I thought that was interesting, just to show like that obviously they're not on the same like level by any stretch of the imagination, but it was interesting to see that she was kind of hiding mid pack with all those stormtroopers.
Yeah.
I thought that was
She's
unique.
like, I'm not ready to go toe to toe with Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I really liked in Episode 5 when she finally turns on Vader, and he doesn't
Oh
even
my
give her the
gosh.
dignity of bringing out his lightsaber. He uses
Right.
the Force and then uses her lightsaber against her. He's like, my lightsaber's killed a lot of people, but you're not even worth it.
Yeah,
Like, what was it? Like, I think someone here mentioned like when she was yelling while doing a full charge onto attack, like you're gonna do it for a full swing, but you're gonna like yell. You know, like if you were gonna do it and attack them, do it in secrecy.
Yeah.
And then I saw like in Episode 6, like when he got out of the rubble, like Obi-Wan didn't say anything. I'm like, that's kind of how you do it. You just do it in
Yeah.
secrecy. Like, shh.
Yeah.
What you do is you sneak up, so great job, Vader, and you put the lightsaber in his back. And
Yeah.
What you don't do is you don't light it like 20 feet from him and run at it.
Yeah. I would do the measure twice and cut once and just get right about the distance of where I need to be.
It's like,
and then
hey,
turn
I'm
it
having
on.
trouble. Can you look? Yeah, apparently good guys, they can't handle a lightsaber to the stomach. You know, Qui-Gon and Han Solo, they didn't have revenge in their heart, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, apparently, like she survived it like twice as a kid and as an adult. Like, what the heck?
A lot of scar tissue.
Yeah. You
Ooh.
joke about a Jar Jar show, but Jar Jar actually has a pretty big following. As you know, I collect Star Wars stuff, and you know, I collect an obscure character in Admiral Akbar, and there's a huge vocal loyal fan base for Jar Jar Binks. Now, I don't want to see him at his own show, but if Jar Jar Binks were to show up in a show, like you know, kind of a being in an episode or you know a little bit, I wouldn't hate that.
Misa
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, Misa back. B words.
I don't mind Jar Jar.
No, he's fine.
Yeah.
He's for kids.
Uh,
I mean, once they toned him down, I mean, episode 1, he's in like over 90 minutes of episode 1, so that's a lot of.
That is
Jar
a lot
Jar.
of Jar.
But you know, in
It's all the
episode 2
Jar
and
Jar I
episode
need.
3, when he's got just this small part, you know, he's likable enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that they made everything his fault because he's the one who does the petition for emergency powers for Palpatine.
Yeah, that's too bad.
If only we had a brave enough senator. But where would we find one? Jar Jar's like, whoa, Misa.
Yeah, I
I'll
got
do
it.
I don't like sand either. It's rough in its course and
Gets everywhere.
it's everywhere.
everywhere. I'm happy though that they didn't do the. I know I was watching a lot of people react to episode 6, and as soon as Vader was burying him, a lot of people were like, he's gonna have the high ground. I'm like, I don't think so, and I'm happy that they didn't, just because I felt like as far as pleasing the fans, like I was okay if you didn't say it, but I'm sure
Yeah.
a lot of people wanted to hear it.
I'm sure it'll be meme fodder. He did have the high ground, but he didn't need to say it.
Yeah.
It was interesting that Vader went back to his little castle instead of going back onto the starship,
You
because
gotta maintain
how's he
it.
going to explain that he lost that fight, right? So he's just like, I'm just going to go back to my little house.
I gotta pick up my other helmet.
Get my
Gonna
spare
jump
helmet.
back in the back to tank, get a new helmet.
Yeah.
This never happened.
But it doesn't quite fit right. Like your extra pair of glasses, where it's just like an older pair that's not really in fashion.
He's got to get used to it.
Yeah.
It just doesn't fit just right. My other one fit perfect, and the other one had to be a
Did he have more buttons than normal? I
No.
feel like he had a lot of green like buttons on his torso that I don't really remember.
I think it should be the same.
Really?
It should be Revenge of the Sith Vader.
As I was watching him, I just thought he was glowing quite a bit. Like
I think
he
he just wanted to press all his buttons.
I
He
kind of
just-
did, and that was awesome.
Yeah,
when
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan was breaking them, I was like, "That's the way you do it." He's all wheezing. I would just use the Force to push his buttons on and off.
Like finally, someone pays attention.
I know.
I'm like,
God.
wait, those buttons do something? Well, I think I
Yeah.
know what I gotta do.
I did like how they used the torso box with the lights as like an effect. Like in episode 3 when he's like it's like pitch black and all you see is like the buttons and like
Uh-huh.
it illuminates things. I know they do it a lot with lightsabers in Star Wars, but it was cool to see this just innocuous box and be
Nice.
like, oh,
What's
we
the
know who that
shape?
is.
Hello from Peru.
Peru.
Whoa!
Isn't that where
whoa.
Paddington's going now?
Is Paddington going to Peru? in
I think
Paddington
so.
3?
I don't remember. I just know that Paddington is now my favorite movie.
It's so good. Paddington 2 is we're not trying to send the Paddington 2 show, but like if you haven't seen Paddington 2, you are doing yourself an incredible disservice. There's no more wholesome, honest, and like just fun movie to watch than Paddington 2.
It is
There you go.
definitely a movie to see.
It is the Empire Strikes Back of CG animated stuffed bear movies.
Ooh,
Yeah. So let's talk about Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
man.
Does he play a character that we should
No.
know? That's
Brand
a
new
new
fish.
character.
Yeah,
Okay.
Roken is brand new.
Okay.
I think so. When we watched the premiere at Star Wars Celebration, and I'm like, O'Shea Jackson Jr. Like, what's he doing in this show? I'm like, where is he in this
Right.
episode?
We hadn't seen him yet.
Yeah, we didn't. And you were telling me like that's probably later. I'm like, but how later? I kind of want to know now.
Well, then everyone was like putting next to like a picture like Quinlan Vos, and they're like, well, this could work. And
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think the Obi-Wan series had a lot of that. A lot of people putting their own expectations on the stuff and not really enjoying what they were seeing. So like the Quinlan Vos of it all, putting their own whatever spin they wanted to put on the fight with Vader. To where I think a lot of people kind of fantasy booked it if you're a wrestling person. And because they didn't get what they wanted, I think they felt disappointed instead of just going into it with like, yeah, would it have been cool if O'Shea Jackson Jr. was Quinlan Vos? We got to say Quinlan Vos, that would have been awesome. But I don't think it's less because he played, Roken, one of the leaders of this resistance group that I'm sure will eventually become the Rebel Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah. Or am I wrong? And they should just give me everything I want.
I don't know,
Gave us
man.
Flea.
There's.
We got Flea.
I
And
mean,
Justin picked him. We saw the back of Flea's head for like a millisecond at the premiere, and he was like, I think that's Flea. I'm like, what? I have no idea why you would think that. What made you think of that? And like,
I spy with my little eye.
I honestly
Dave.
thought you were like, I think there's a flea. I'm like, where? Like, I thought you meant like the insect.
it was like the most random pull. I mean, Flea's been in like a handful of things just to assume he was going to. Unless you knew ahead of time he was.
No,
gonna
I
be in the
didn't.
show.
I didn't. I just spotted him.
Recognize.
You did.
It's just an interesting looking.
Because you're the
fella.
number one Flea fan in the world.
Yes.
Until I saw his face, I didn't know it was Flea.
Yeah, 100%. That was
Yeah.
funny. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I think like the earlier episodes was kind of interesting too, because like while on that other planet, while he was like when late, Obi-Wan's just like, oh, I gotta run away, and I'm like, oh my god, it's one of these. Like,
Yeah.
just chill, stay. Like, oh, what do I gotta do to get this kid to sit down? And then, like Reva was like playing like she was like parkour, hardcore, like everywhere around the city. I'm like, maybe if you just run straight.
Yeah.
You probably could have gone there like
Shit to
sooner.
the backflip gainer off the fridge box.
Yeah, and I think it was because obviously they brought this to Farva, Rod
Farva?
Farva, and Filoni, and they passed because it was too similar to Mandalorian. Find this cute little kid, save him from the big bad guy. Do you think that this series was too similar to the Mandalorian
I don't know.
because of the lightsabers and the parkour?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know. I do think, yeah, they both involved like a sort of a guardian and a little one, but I think that they were two very different shows. And there was a lot more going on. With Mandalorian, it's mostly just Mandalorian, and that's all there is to it. He's like on the screen like almost the entire show. Whereas with this, we got to jump around and see a lot of different characters.
What do you think, AJ? Too similar?
I don't think so. I think I'm able to separate between the two. I think just because like we've kind of established Obi-Wan more so within like the original trilogy and then even the prequels, like we kind of know who he is, so we're just looking more from him versus like Mandalorian. Like, well, I don't know too much about you, or do I know much more about Grogu? Because I think even when we used to call him like Baby Yoda, I'm like, yeah, it's Baby Yoda, and like here's your official name. He's got a name.
Right?
It's
What?
the child, and then it's Grogu. I'm
and,
like,
and then they gave her something to do, right? Like she was able to fix the ship and all that stuff. It's not like she was just like a damsel in distress kind of
I
thing.
gotta say hi to Chicken Nublet. We haven't seen him in a
Chicken
while.
Nugget, hey everybody.
You couldn't find our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you found it. Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think maybe the first episode and a half it really had that Mando vibe, but I think that they quickly established themselves as something different. With the whole the Inquisitors trying to hunt Kenobi, and I really like that. Like Kenobi seems to be like the big box that needs to be checked like that they seem to have found most of like the major Jedi from the prequel era, and I kind of like that everyone like knows that it's a big deal that like that's Obi-Wan Kenobi and stuff like that. He's on our list and stuff like that. So I think it helped with the stature of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I was very interested in that one stormtrooper in the back of the truck. He's like, he said Leia. I'm like, hey, this one's not that bad. Like this one sort of knows things.
Right.
And then he just let it slide. I'm like, dang.
That was funny that they got to like the little laser toll booth that they could have easily just like
Walked
walked around.
Yeah.
I totally got like Blazing Saddles vibes off of that part.
And that was Zach Braff who played the one alien.
Oh, there you
I
go.
had no idea.
Oh,
I didn't
was
know
it?
that
Yeah, it was Zach Braff.
Oh, I didn't know.
And then even in the prison escape episode, when Obi-Wan comes up through the sewer, and then there's a door that opens, and there's just like this puddle on the ground. It's like, did he just come out of that puddle? Is that how that works?
It's their moon pool.
And there's like a guard just guarding the little puddle. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I will say, my chief criticism of the show is that it seems to be really easy to get into places and escape from places.
Yeah.
He had like a Breaking Bad moment too when he got into that like when he was getting Leia in that plant in the second episode, and he like mixed the chemical and just blew up. Like that's literally a Breaking Bad scene at this point.
Do you find anything interesting in the Sith, or want to know more about?
I would be interested in like the old Sith that was like a civilization. I think that the rule of two, like the Darth Bane, I would say anything up to Darth Bane, I'd be interested in. Anything from Bane to Palpatine is a significantly less interesting.
How many years separate the two?
It's like 700 years or something like that. It's quite a bit. And I apologize if someone fact checks me and that's not 700. It was a significant amount of time.
Like KOTOR, right? Knights of the Old Republic. That was
Yeah.
like 5,000 years before the Star Wars that we know now, and that was fun because then you had like this. They had like Sith academies and all kinds of cool stuff, and like our fleets and armadas and stuff.
Yeah, I think that old Jedi versus Sith comics and stuff like that, your Freedom Nons and your Sunriders and stuff like that. I think that would be an interesting area to mine because not a lot of people know about it. There are a lot of cool Sith like Escher Kun, obviously Darth Bane and stuff like that. General Hoth from the Jedi. There's a lot of really cool stories they could mine. I think a Darth Bane series could be cool as a Sith series. I would like to see. It would say it was like a 3-episode thing. I'd like the first season to be him becoming a Sith. The second season ending with like the battle on I can't remember the planet they're on, where they established the rule of two with like the thought bomb, where they kill like thousands of Jedi and thousands of Sith. And the third season being like him training Rain, who becomes his like apprentice.
Ooh.
Zana.
Sounds complicated.
But that's probably too nerdy for our group. Sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize. I like
Well, we
Star
do
Wars.
have one question though. It's like,
Sure.
like if you were Leia, wouldn't you have remembered a whole grand adventure with Obi-Wan when asking for help with R2 and then you
I
hope?
don't think she knows he's Obi-Wan. Ben is the name. Does she ever hear anyone call him Obi-Wan?
I may have to now rewatch.
I don't
that.
know, maybe. But either way, I mean, let's just yes, of course, you can nitpick that all you want. That's fine and dandy. But remember, the Imperial troopers are coming, and she has like 8 seconds to record a message, so she can't. I mean, obviously, they're not gonna rewrite dialogue. This movie's been around already since 1977, so that's a problem. But I mean, if she's not gonna say, "Hey, Obi-Wan Kenobi, remember me, Leia? I was a little girl that you came and you saved me when I was kidnapped, and we went on all those adventures in that time where I had a little droid and I gave it to you, and then Darth Vader was after us, and there was that Reva lady who was really mean, and she was trying to hurt me, and then Flea was in it. You remember Flea?
Yeah.
He was
And
in
I
it?
floated.
So if you
Flea
remember
kidnapped
all
me?
of that, then that'd be great, and you can help me out. So
Maybe
I mean, she literally only had like 5 seconds
Maybe
to
there's
tell.
like an in-between episode. You know, she hit her head from climbing all those trees, and
Right.
Oh, shoot, I forgot.
Yeah. In my head canon, she knows Ben Kenobi. And
Mm.
while yes, those last names are the same, maybe Kenobi's like Smith of
Sure.
all.
John
Maybe
Smith of
everyone
Tatooine.
in Alderaan is named Kenobi.
Oof.
I mean, I think you just have to take certain liberties.
Yeah.
It's fine. It doesn't bother me. I'm not grossly offended by
Right.
that taking place.
But
Okay, well,
when Luke rescues Leia from the detention center,
Mhm.
he doesn't call him Obi-Wan. He says, "I'm here with Ben Kenobi. I have your droids. I'm here with Ben Kenobi." And as soon as he says that name, she gets very excited. It's like, Ben Kenobi's here?
yeah.
So, I mean, I think that would lend some credence. And again, this is all my fan.
He's like, didn't you hear what I said? I'm Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
here to
here to rescue you.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh no, but it's okay. You got Ben. She calls him Obi-Wan at the end, right? I don't know. It's
Maybe.
entirely
Who
entirely
cares?
possible.
Yeah.
Um,
I wouldn't worry about it. If that's what's keeping you from sleeping at night and enjoying the show, then that's unfortunate.
yeah, I can suspend
Suspend your
suspend
disbelief
my disbelief Thank
on a
you.
fake show.
I almost said descend my disbelief.
Whoa, that's a
not
new
the same.
saying.
Yeah, I mean, with so much canon, so much, we got movies, TV shows, video games, books, comics. There's just so much out there. Contradictions are just going to have to happen. And as long as they're not major ones, like we talked about Reva killing Luke Skywalker, that would be that's what we call a big change. These little changes, little tweaks here and there, that's fine.
He should have gotten inside one of the droids and just been like, nobody here but us droids.
Yeah. But like his arm is, you really see like half his arm and then like a droid hand.
Just like a kid's play when the kid's like a tree or something.
Yeah.
They're looking for them. They went that away.
Yeah. I don't know. It looked like a Jedi to me. Full pop beep.
Yeah. Easy peasy.
Yeah. So I think overall, I really enjoyed Obi-Wan. I am a big prequel fan. I love Revenge of the Sith to this day. I won't make the outlandish claim that I make in private with my friends that I get mocked for. So anything I can get that's kind of like a prequel to original trilogy kind of like arc, that like bridges that gap, that features original trilogy characters, I'm always going to be for. I'd love it. What about you, Justin? What are your other thoughts on the show? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you wish there was more of it?
I really enjoyed it. No, I think 6 episodes was perfect. I didn't need to see any more or any less. I'm glad it was on. I like seeing the flashback sequence with Obi-Wan and Anakin sort of dueling each other. I thought that was a lot of fun. I liked Leia. I thought she was absolutely adorable and charming and a lot of fun as well. I was sad that the nice lady from Game of Thrones didn't make it.
Yeah.
The sand serpent snake lady or whatever. But she
then Leia got the holster.
got the holster. Yeah,
I like the mom's like, is that a holster?
put a banana in it or
She's
something.
like, I love it.
I actually think that line too was like, "There's no." It was like, "It's empty." Like I wasn't gonna give you a gun.
I was gonna give you a blaster.
10.
But no, it was fun. I definitely enjoyed it, and the fight scene with Vader and Obi-Wan, I thought, especially in episode 6, made it totally worth it. I thought that was incredible, and I'm glad that Obi-Wan won again.
Yeah, that fight. I mean, I was already obviously a big fan of the show, but I was always in the back of my head thinking, like, are they going to be able to pull this off? This Obi-Wan Anakin fight. And I think they did amazing. I think that what really sells it for me is that conversation they have at the end. It's less about, the flashy lightsabers. Sure, I loved that. I loved when Obi-Wan Kenobi went all Super Saiyan and like just exploded the rocks. I expected him to like start to float like Agent Smith in like the Matrix or something like that.
He sort of did on that crouching tiger hidden dragon thing when he slashed his. I was like, did he just fly out of it?
It's like, I hope my wire fighting team is ready.
Yeah. And I thought that was when we were going to see Qui-Gon. I thought when he was in the rubble at like
the Spider-Man scene.
Yeah, I thought that's when we were going to see what's the deal here. He's like, there's a lot of rocks here, dude.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'm dead and I'm talking to you. You can lift some rocks and go murder that cyborg.
Right.
Yeah.
And then real quick, one other favorite moment was when Vader pulled the ship down in episode 5. Like they were trying to escape and it was a decoy, but he grabbed it, made it like crashed it down to the ground and ripped the side panels off with the Force. That was pretty badass.
Yeah, when you rip those side panels, I'm like, well, they're not gonna be able to fly that ship anymore.
Yeah.
And of course there was the other ship. But yeah, I think this, I know a lot of people, similar to Boba Fett, I think a lot of people are concerned about the more they see of Vader, the less demystified and the less, special or powerful he seems. But I think that this series really, really cemented him as like not someone to mess around with. And the scene in episode 3 when he's just hunting Obi-Wan, and like you guys mentioned, he's like Jason Voorhees. The scene with Reva when Obi-Wan escapes and he just basically walks in, just grabs her by the throat and lifts her like 8 feet in the air and is ready to murder her if she doesn't say the right thing. I think they made Vader look
awesome,
super powerful.
Yeah, I think like when he came into the like town, he was just like snap that. He's like the kid was like, "Dad," and he's like, "Oh, kill that kid too while we're at it." I'm like, "What the?"
It's like, what am I watching?
Yeah,
I expected, but still like, oh, I didn't expect to see it here and now.
Yeah, that was a cool thing. So you saw a silhouette,
Yeah.
like straight out of a horror movie. He's walking down. He's just trying to go to Obi-Wan and coming out. He's like, just dragging people behind him.
I thought it was interesting that was the episode he did pull out the lightsaber. Like he was just terrified. I'm like, I guess I would too if like some guy haunting me with like a giant red lightsaber would. I guess a blue lightsaber, like any lightsaber would just help deflect an attack from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that Leia kept the gloves, so when she gets dressed up to greet, she doesn't know who she's greeting. Her official wear, she's got the holster, she's got the gloves and the boots.
Yeah,
It's there to hold Lola now.
Yeah.
It's not there for blasters, it's there to hold a droid.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
What about you, AJ? What were your overall thoughts? Were you happy? Did it meet your expectations?
Yeah, no, I think this series was really good. Again, 6 episode was a good enough. You know, I didn't have to wait like long time. Like, oh, it's 12 weeks. I got to get to the ending. I'm getting like, especially when you hype a series, like when it gets, you know, it's climbing and climbing. It sucks waiting longer and longer for the final. So again, the 6 was good. Seeing the characters again was really good. I do think like the music, because I've seen a couple edits where they changed the music. I'm like, oh,
It's so good.
I was like, oh, that does sound a little
Yeah.
bit better. I have definitely, I think like during the fight with Vader and Obi-Wan, like someone had done a different music to it, but they also cut away like Reva's part. I'm like, okay, that did look, look a lot better in that cut.
I wonder if that's the one I watched. It was the Battle of the Heroes, so it's their theme from
Yeah.
episode 3, and I mean, they got that out like I saw it like the next morning after I watched.
Yeah,
Kenobi that
people
night.
don't
I'm
mess
like, wow,
around.
it was quick.
Yeah.
It's almost like they were ready. They're like, I bet they're not going to play the music. I'm going to have this ready. One thing I really liked is episode 5 when they had the flashback and they had Obi-Wan and Anakin, and I like that they just were like, just suspend your disbelief. Anakin's supposed to be 20, and they didn't really do a lot of effort to de-age him.
Yeah.
And I was able to suspend disbelief and stuff like that. And I think it allowed him to be a better actor. You can emote better when your face isn't CGI'd and stuff like that. So it's little things like that. Like I think Deborah Chow, she directed some of the best episodes of Mandalorian and stuff. I think that she knocked it out of the park. I think she did great.
She did every episode of this, right?
She did every episode. Yeah. I fell in love with Leia. I know a lot of people, are irritated, but maybe it's the father in me that I've been around kids that age I'm not irritated by their precocious and often unpredictable behavior.
It's just tricky with child actors sometimes. Like you never know like if it's going to work out or not. But yeah, I thought she was great.
Yeah. I think the Star Wars Twitter account tweeted out a picture of Kid Leia and Kid Luke, and there's like hugging each other and stuff like that. Like how it's going, and then they showed like something from Return of the Jedi with them saving how it is.
How it was going. This was an interesting comment too. Finally get to see why Obi-Wan said Darth Vader killed Anakin. Not that they didn't say that in return, but a new perspective. I thought that was pretty interesting too, because I think that was one of the things that instantly clicked to me. It was like, oh, I killed him. Like, oh, that makes sense now.
Yeah, because Kenobi says that he was a pupil of mine, talking about Darth Vader. He hunted down and murdered your father.
Yeah. The only line dialogue I think I would have added would have been something to where like Obi-Wan makes some kind of overture that like, I know there's still good in you, Anakin. I know his entire, interaction with him, the subtext of that is that I can bring Anakin out of this maybe, just to lead more credence to that episode 6 line of Vader being like, Obi-Wan once thought as you did.
Wow.
But again, that's me and my own headcanon. I'm perfectly happy with what we got. Just me nitpicking something I like.
Puppyplex. Why didn't Qui-Gon survive being stabbed by a lightsaber?
I don't know.
The will. Like
Darth Maul's was too long.
I feel like there was like, I think like what the Sith have is like I have a will and need to live for revenge. So I'm gonna just get back up and do my thing.
He didn't really want to train Anakin. He's like, I'm committed to train this kid.
Sounds like a lot of work.
I'll just I won't make it anymore. How about that?
I'm like,
Obi-Wan, why don't you train that guy?
You'd be perfect.
Yeah, he'd be great.
I mean, Yoda doesn't want to train him. Mace doesn't want to train him. Obi-Wan, you're probably the right guy for this.
But I mean, you bring up a good point about Vader doing all this cool stuff on the show, and it wasn't until Rogue One that really sold me on how amazing Vader was. As someone that never read any of the books or any of the comics or anything like that, it was really neat to see Vader just mow through all those rebels. I mean, it sounds sad when I put it that way, but it was cool to see him do like hot Darth Vader stuff, and it was really cool to see him sort of taunting and toying with Obi-Wan in episode 3.
Yeah,
that was gnarly.
Yeah.
So I mean, now he's scary. Before he was just some big old walking, robot looking dude, and it never really bothered me. I never thought he was scary as a kid or anything. But had I seen Rogue One first, I'm like, oh my god, that guy's
ready to kill.
Yeah,
they showed just how powerful he is.
Yeah,
like, even when he was fighting Obi-Wan in the last episode, for most of the fight, he was still like single-handed fighting him.
Yeah,
lightsaber.
That's crazy.
Like in Bespin. Qui-Gon was taken.
He was.
I like a good pun.
He didn't have special skills.
Yeah, that's what it was. He was like, when Leia got kidnapped, I've got a special set of skills that I've trained you on, and I'm gonna have you go get her. I think had he had shown up in the very beginning and said that line, I thought that'd been very memeable. But that's just my own special thought.
Yeah, 100%.
That's a fantastic question, Juan. I'm glad you asked. So it really depends, So they had like 20 years of canon that once Disney took over, they I don't decanonized isn't a word, but they made their Legends canon. So if you're looking for something that fits into like the current continuity, my answer is always going to be Thrawn. So Thrawn is my favorite character not in the films. So he has books that are both in the original non-canon that are not canon anymore, plus the new canon. But like Heir to the Empire is like a very special book to me. You know, it's what got me into reading. It got me into writing, and the reason I'm here is because of that book. And so if you want to read a really great Legends book, you know, Heir to the Empire, it's the Thrawn trilogy. So it's Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rises, and Last Command. It's a trilogy of Thrawn books, and you can't not read them and be a fan of Thrawn. If you want to stick to the current canon, there's a series of Thrawn books. The same author, Timothy Zahn, he's amazing. But all of those books are great. If you're a fan of the original trilogy, especially, you know, the formation of the Death Star and stuff like that, there's a one-off book called Tarkin, and it's all about Grand Moff Tarkin, you know, before he becomes Grand Moff Tarkin. And I know I just put half of you to sleep, and that doesn't sound interesting, but trust me, it's actually really great to kind of get behind the mind of Grand Moff Tarkin. And I'm enjoying the High Republic. I know some people have mixed feelings on the High Republic because of this or that, but I don't care what color or orientation my fictional characters are in Star Wars, because there's aliens in this galaxy far, far away. So I'm able to
Not
suspend
in my
that.
galaxy.
Thrawn's
Yeah.
a blue guy, you
Yeah,
know.
Thrawn's a blue dude. No, and
He's like one of them avatars.
yeah,
Or he's in that Blue Man group.
Yeah, he's got the drums.
yeah. So High Republic is like their big push right now. You know, they have
Navi. Is that what they're called?
Navi. Yeah, they have comics. They have young adult novels, and then actual you know, big novels. I shouldn't say
What's
big
the book
novels.
that has the wizard-looking guy on the front?
So that's Heir to the Empire. So that's Joris Saboeth. So he's a clone. Well,
I don't even know what you just said.
Speaking
So Heir to the Empire, the book
Partial
I
that
got
Like
that
a
part,
recommended.
but you said like a
So the character's name is Joris Saboeth.
Jorah?
Joris.
Joris.
Joruus.
Joris Saboa?
And you're going to learn that when there's two U's, that means it's a clone.
Oh.
Because there's also
Two
might be
Utes.
another character who
Two
has a U in
U's
their
does
name
mean
where
a
they do that
clone.
same thing.
Interesting.
but
I like
yeah,
the wizard
there's-
guy.
Yeah,
Is he bad?
he's bad. Bad to the bone. He partners with Thrawn.
Oh.
Him and
Oh.
Thrawn are trying to take over. So basically, the plot is it's 7 years after Return of the Jedi. The Empire and the New Republic, as they're called, they're no longer the Rebellion. They have kind of even sides. And this character named Grand Admiral Thrawn comes from the unknown regions and kind of unifies the Empire. And
That's mighty nice of him.
he is pretty rad. He is a, I dare say, my favorite character in Star Wars. But don't tell Admiral Akbar that.
Is Thrawn still alive? Does he get killed? Spoiler alert.
In which series?
Any series. Is he
I mean, everybody dies.
does he get
Justin.
he gets his end? Does Luke Skywalker kill Thrawn? Who kills Thrawn?
You want me to spoil all these books for these people?
I mean, are you guys really gonna read?
Probably not. So Thrawn
Oh,
Thrawn
man.
has not met his end in the canonical books that are out now.
Okay.
In the Legend series, yes, he very much met his end,
Okay.
and it was heartbreaking
That's too bad.
because
Did he get sucked out into space like
No,
your idiot friend Akbar?
wow, ouch.
If you ever want to
Too
give
soon,
David a gift, anything Akbar, that's the thing.
Good news, I already have it. But
Yeah. I
anything
mean, yeah,
Akbar
Thrawn's
art-
gonna be in with this Ahsoka series.
Yeah, so Thrawn will be supposedly is going to be in the Ahsoka series. That would be fantastic. I know when Rise of Skywalker was coming out, every single time someone was cast, like, was that going to be Thrawn? Could that be Thrawn?
Mhm.
Of course, he didn't show up. I would have loved it if he had showed up in the Emperor Reborn portion of it. But yeah, Thrawn is incredible. He's a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, if you want to go back to like Legends, if you're a fan of, you know, we had mentioned the Jedi versus Sith comic series. I'm sure you can get that on some kind of omnibus for like $6 now. It's great. It's thousands of years in the past. It's when there were thousands of Sith and there were thousands of Jedi, and they didn't get along and they fought and stuff like that. You mentioned the Darth Bane books. There's a trilogy of Darth Bane books that are really good that establishes the rule of two. It establishes, you know, because Darth Maul actually wears like living armor, like he stumbled into the wrong nest, and he got these obelisks that just surround him, and their shells just happen to be like lightsaber proof. So,
Oh well.
it's super duper cool, and he gets an apprentice. We mentioned before, named Xana, and she's how can you say, not the most stable individual.
So the rule too is just because they didn't go to like someone's like fridge, ate their lunch, and was like, nope, can't have more than one of you guys' lunch.
Yeah.
2 lunches right here.
So the Jedi
Mine and
basically,
yours.
yeah, they basically surround the Sith, and there's like a no-win situation for them. And Darth Bane comes up with the idea of the rule of two, that the Sith are too big and too in the public eye, and so they need to kind of go underground for a little while, and then eventually, Palpatine's plan comes to fruition.
And they're always trying to kill each other.
Yeah, exactly. And so then it's
The
rule of
apprentice is
two.
always trying to kill the master.
Yeah, the rule of two is eventually your apprentice is going to become powerful enough and learn everything they can from you to kill you.
Now, if you're a master, do you want to kill the apprentice just so you, or not? Because then you got to train some whole new person again.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
wanna-
you're definitely not actively trying to kill them, but if they get a little too mouthy or if they become a little bit too much of a problem, your job is to put them back in their place so that they know that today's not the day. Today's not the day you become the master.
Sure. 501st Disney series.
Oh, I'm in.
That could be fun.
I love like the clone 501st that murder all the Jedi kids.
Yeah. That's interesting that we got that little pop-up before the show about like some of these images are going to be disturbing.
Yeah, it seemed like any episode where like a kid was in mortal danger.
Yeah.
Because they did it before the premiere. They did it before, I think it was episode 3 or 4 when they went back to it. That was the Reva episode where we found out who she was, and they did it on the 6th episode too.
Yeah, people figured that out pretty quick with her. I didn't piece that together on the first episode.
No,
but by the 4th or whatever, when they talk about it, like, oh yeah, okay, it makes sense. But I did not recognize her as a youth at the beginning of the show.
Did not think of it.
Yeah, I mean. To be fair, we did have like the worst seats in the entire premiere. Like we were literally looking at the screen at almost like a 90-degree angle, so it was really hard to see. But
yeah, and I think that another missed line of dialogue would have been as Reva, as the child is stabbed and lying there dead, of one of the 501st officers to refer to Anakin as Darth Vader, to give her that, because right now we don't know where the logic leap is to where she knows Darth Vader is Anakin, because Anakin and Darth Vader look very different.
Right.
So there's a couple logic leaps you have to make, but it's fine. I don't think Vader would leave anyone alive who knew he was Anakin Skywalker.
Sure.
So it's good she kept that on the down low.
On the DL.
On the DL.
Sure.
He's not one to play friendly with his secrets.
Mariam Langdon says, "Hey,
yo."
But that is not her. Who am I looking at? Who's her picture? Like a doctor?
That looks like the dude from Steve Hawking movie.
Eddie Redmayne? Redmayne? You could have said the Fantastic Beasts guys.
What is the Stephen Hawking movie called?
Theory of Everything.
That's it. I like the music in that one.
Yeah, it's great. Speaking of, did you see the third Fantastic? Have we talked
it's
about
Edward
Fantastic
Nigma
Beasts?
from Mr. Enigma
from
Gotham.
I didn't watch Gotham.
Yeah.
We won't talk about Fantastic Beasts. It was terrible. But did either of you see Lightyear?
I have.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's pretty cool. I liked it.
I did.
It's got 3 after credit scenes.
Oh my gosh, 3?
Yeah.
But there's like one at the midpoint, and then at the very end, they put like 2 back to back.
Yeah. Funny enough I didn't think they would, but I always stay for credits for anything. And like, I just want to see. And then as soon as the credits were done, and after credit, I'm like, there's an after credit?
Yeah.
Man. I'm rewarded for doing something I do that is mundane for most. Stay for just because I want to read the credits and whoever's there.
You have to nowadays. You never know.
Well, I like also seeing like where they like who these people are. So I'm like, oh, let me find the most ridiculous, crazy names I can ever think
I
of.
always like to find the fun names too. Yeah.
Like, oh man.
As soon as the credits start rolling, I get my phone out to see is there. I just Google like, does Blink have a post-credit scenes?
Yeah, you gotta do that before in case the Wi-Fi is terrible in the movie theater.
Yeah. Well, I usually stick around. I've trained Zachary, my youngest son, who comes to movies with me most of the time, that once he sees like production babies, that he knows is at the end of because usually, especially Disney movies, that after all, like the VFX artists and stuff like that, they'll put production babies like babies born during the production.
I think this time around they didn't put the word production babies; they put young space cadets.
Yes,
and I thought it was like really cute. I'm like, oh, that's what they called their baby. That's what they call the production babiys.
But I totally want like a socks, like this little cat little computer.
You're gonna love socks.
He's like turned this thing he's like anytime they ask a question, calculating, he's like beep boop beep boop beep boop. Like the most stupid noise.
That's right.
But I thought it was
Justin Pett.
Yeah, you'll love it.
I
think it was smart at the beginning too. They put like a little like a text bar over it. Like in 1995, we introduced you to the character Andy, whose favorite movie was his favorite toy was based off his favorite movie, Buzz Lightyear. This is that movie.
Yeah,
1995 had really good graphics.
I actually just explained it to my mom yesterday. She was asking why Tim Allen wasn't the voice.
I don't think Justin has.
What?
No. With his impression.
Yeah, I don't do that. Really, like
not even a stab into a Slim Jim.
Yeah, I can like, oh yeah, or 3 minutes. So we have this thing every time we record one of our product videos. We always whip out like bone saw, and I'm like, you got 3 minutes. That's about it.
I think even like beginning of this, we were talking to him. Like David was talking to Justin, like, "Don't you own Macho Man shirt?" He's like, "No." Like, I
This is my
swear
only
you
one.
own one.
Yeah, I said I would have bet $1,000. Someone asked me, "Is that a new shirt with Justin, or is you already own a Macho Man shirt?" I said $1,000 right here, and then I would have lost a lot
Yeah.
of money. It would have been pretty sad. But yeah, I got my kids saying 3 minutes now. It's incorporated into our
3 minutes.
our nomenclature at home. Like
Yeah.
we're cooking something. How much time left? And so we're making my older son wanted mac and cheese for lunch or something yesterday, and he yelled from across the other side of the house, like, "Hey, how much longer?" And my younger son, without skipping a beat, was like, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Loved it. I don't think it's confirmed, right? We haven't confirmed
No,
season 2.
it's just or what do you call it? Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen were keen on revisiting the series.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I needed season 2, unless it's just going to be Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan having fun, like high fiving it through the desert.
Playing
High
chess in the
five
park.
going, like, right through him.
Yeah.
That's probably the only thing I'm going to need.
Yeah.
Wacky adventures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch it if they make an Obi-Wan. If Ewan McGregor wants to be Obi-Wan Kenobi, I'll definitely watch it. I would like for them to do something other than Obi-Wan and Vader, though. Like I could see them. He can be there protecting Luke, and there can be some form of other threat, like maybe it's the Tuskens or something else. But I don't know if that's what other people want to see. I think
I
if
want
other
to see
people
how he loses those cool shades. He had some really cool looking shades, and I was like, "Bet you that's available to Disney parks now." We can get them.
LOL, Weekend at Qui-Gon's.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, we were talking about having like an odd couple sort of relationship. Where they like living together in that little cave. Although I guess he moves out and he gets a little house.
Bandai Dave
Yeah.
only owns SF gear. Shaking my head. Yeah, it's my team, for better or for worse. Right now they're playing really good, but a couple weeks ago was not a great time to be a Giants fan. No, not Angel level like poor Sturfin over here. Or I guess we're backwards. But yeah, I own a lot of Giants hats and jerseys.
It's good. You just stick to what you really like.
42 hats.
42
with
Giants
5
hats.
more on the way.
With 5 more on the way. That's correct.
Let's get the big 5-0 with it.
Yeah, because Big League Chew, they are making these amazing hats for the MLB teams.
They're made from gum.
They're made from gum, so it sticks
Used
to your head.
gum.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want fresh gum. Are you kidding me? So those look great. So if you're a fan of any baseball team, I definitely recommend looking into your team plus Big League Chew.
Sure. Do it.
Oh, come on, season 2. I was like, what am I looking at? A hat made from used gum. I love it. Well, anything else you want to talk about? Obi-Wan Kenobi, Lightyear, anything you've seen lately that you're excited for? I know you've been busy.
No, I've been just plowing through Star Trek Discovery, and I really like it a lot.
Are you done with season 1?
Yeah, I'm on season 2. I'm halfway through season 2.
I think he told me like when he's like, "I'm on season 2 now." I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. How awesome was it when Jason Isaacs turns on him?
Yeah, that was nuts. I was not prepared for that.
And they brought back the Emperor from the Mirror World.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was like, what is happening on this show? It's crazy.
I love her. She's my favorite. So you're in season 2, so that's the season with number 2 and Pike and Spock. Right? They're
all
awesome.
those things. Yeah. And then for Father's Day, my amazing wife got me the complete series of Homicide: Life on the Street, which is like my favorite show ever from the 90s. And so now I got to binge that.
Nice.
Yeah, super excited. I haven't seen that show in like 20 something years, and I am pumped.
What's Richard Belser's character's name?
Munch,
Yeah, that's
Detective
right.
John Munch.
Because he's in SVU as well.
Yeah.
For Law and Order.
Correct.
Which is on its like.
I'm glad you had a great
2
Father's
years.
Day.
I know. It was awesome. I was very pumped about that. So Discovery, plowing through that. My current rate, I should be done in like a week, and then I'll get through all of Homicide.
Nice. Yeah, Discovery season 2. They go in an interesting place. It's not bad, but it's just
They must have got feedback on it not being funny enough, because there was like gags like crazy in the first episode of season 2.
maybe.
I was like, wow, I must have got some feedback that they were too serious.
Well, it's funny because we compared to the Orville, which started out super funny and then got serious. Like
Gotta find a happy balance.
Yeah, like the second season of Orville is all about like them trying to like stop the robots from like taking over the world, the universe and stuff like that. So Orville just came back too, season 3.
Whoa.
Let's check it out.
3 minutes.
I didn't even realize there was 3 seasons for that.
Yeah, they did 2 seasons on Fox, and now the 3rd season's on Hulu. So it's a Hulu original now.
Hmm.
But it's definitely worth checking out. I was kind of on the anti Star Trek Discovery bandwagon for a little while, because it just wasn't my cup of tea, or I didn't think it was my cup of tea. Later on, I went back and realized it was very much my cup of tea.
So good.
As I just
It's the most
consumed
delicious
it
cup
all.
of tea I've ever had.
Yeah,
Um,
that's flavored dirt water, you know.
yeah. But then I never was really able to get into Picard. You know, our buddy Randy tried to explain to me. I'm like, just Wikipedia it.
Yeah, so I did.
I watched a couple episodes and I just wasn't into it. So,
Wow.
yeah. What about you, AJ? Anything you've seen? Anything recent?
Other
Seen
than
this? You heard about
Lightyear, not much. I'm just more excited. You know, this week is a new Digimon set, so that's what I want.
Oh my gosh! Speaking of Digimon, we just had that giveaway. We got to announce the winner, which I don't think we're ready to do.
I could do it right now.
You could do it right now.
Oh.
But a couple people were asking for Anime Expo previews. I bet we'll probably follow at Bandai Collect. There's going to be some cool reveals. I know we've already talked about the One Piece booth that's going to be there, and we talked about the writer stuff, right? Before I say anything,
we have talked about the meetup and that we're having a panel at 7:30.
that's the thing.
Yeah,
Mhm,
we've got like
mhm, mhm.
Crunchyroll's gonna be there, and then we have that writer for like Stonebot Comics and everything like that for one of the comic books. So we'll talk about all that news, announcements, and then we get to watch Futopia 2 episodes of it. And like, I'm excited.
That's exciting stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna have a huge presence like we always do at Anime Expo. So if you're in the LA area, you're not going to want to miss it. There's going to be some really, really cool stuff. There's going to be some fun exclusives, some world first displays.
Mhm. And formal announcements early next week,
yes,
Monday, possibly Tuesday.
because the show's on Thursday,
Yeah.
It's gonna be so
Friday.
busy.
Friday. Yeah.
It's gonna be so busy.
Friday through Monday. And we have this incredible giveaway coming up. My goodness, we just shot a video for it. Very excited for it. This is one of my favorite giveaways ever. It's a lot of stuff, a lot of different winners. So definitely be ready for that. And that will be at shop.bandai.com/contest. And it's amazing.
Handpicked by Justin.
Yeah.
Yes.
All I can see is I'm staring at it in the corner over there, and it's in like 4 boxes. That's how much.
It's a lot of stuff.
That's how much there is. It's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of happy winners. So. Make sure that if you are not fondling, if you're not following at Bandai Collect, make sure you are. That's the best place to keep up with all of our contests and stuff like that. And of course, if you are a lover of a particular brand like Tamashii Nations, follow at Tamashii Nations at Bandai Hobby US. That really, really helps everybody. Following's free. It doesn't cost you nothing. You can share, retweet. We really appreciate all the support. We love chatting with you. So please leave a comment. And if you like TikTok, like I love TikTok, make sure you are following at Bandai Official on TikTok, and make a video, duet us, stitch us. We stitch us. We
love TikTok.
One of the things we want to see your backlogs. I know that AJ and Justin and Steven all the time are asking you guys on Twitter, but I want to see your TikTok backlog. So show them to me.
There you go.
But I think that's it, right?
That's it.
Our next live stream will be from the floor of Anime Expo next week. We're going to have a couple live streams. So we will not have one on
3.
Thursday, right?
No, Thursday's my birthday and David Clark's birthday. So if you reach out to David Clark on Thursday, June 30th, give him a happy birthday. We share a birthday.
Is Justin's half birthday of his half birthday?
Yes. My half birthday, for those of you that celebrate those, is December 30th.
I don't think there's any 8-year-olds watching our stream.
Oh my gosh. Half birthdays are amazing. Henry just had his half birthday. So
Oh, yeah?
excited. Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
And he
been a
got
half birthday?
presents. Yes.
All right.
So celebrate your half birthday. Oh, look at that. Wednesday is your birthday. Perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
So yeah, hopefully everyone's gonna. If you can't be in person at Anime Expo, you'll tune in for our streams. We'll have them Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Correct.
same time, noon.
I think they're noon. Yes.
All right. But just to make sure you're following at Bandai Collect to keep you up on everything. Thank you guys so much for chatting Obi-Wan Kenobi. If you have any ideas for future live streams, feel free to drop them in the comments or email us at hangout@bntca.com. BNTCA. Bandai Namco Toys Collectibles America.
Yeah.
So until next week, we'll talk to you guys later. Have a fantastic weekend. Be safe and don't back in your parking spot. It's the law.
You always back into your parking spot.
Never. Well, I take it back. One time I did. And my wife made sure to text Justin a picture instantly before I even got out of the car. She's like, "Oh, Justin's got to see this." I hated it, but there was no way around it.
Mm-hmm.
Till next time.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.